It finally happened. After years of speculation, it's now free to play. The tactical shooter that was once known for its steep learning curve and tight-knit player base is opening the floodgates to everyone. No price tag. No upfront purchase. Just download and jump in. Sounds amazing, right? Well, not so fast. Yes, it's now accessible to anyone on all platforms. You can jump into Quick Match, try out Unranked, or run some custom matches with friends. Even the brand new 6v6 mode, Dual Front, is here to spice things up. But here's where things get tricky. Dual Front, arguably the most exciting new addition, is only available on current-gen hardware. That means if you're on PS4 or Xbox One, you're missing out. Big time. So while the headlines scream, free to play, the fine print says, not full access for everyone. Dual Front is part of a larger package of enhancements. New audio design, overhauled maps, and better visual fidelity, all tailored for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. Older consoles? They're being left behind. It's like being invited to a party but told, you can only hang out in the kitchen, while everyone else is dancing in the main room. But let's talk about the big one. Ranked. That's the real heart of competitive play. For many, it's the only mode that matters. It's where you prove yourself, where climbing the ladder actually means something. But unless you upgrade to the premium version, Ranked is completely locked out. You can play all the casual modes you want, but if you're aiming for progression, for leaderboards, for anything serious, you're gonna have to pay up. It's a move that makes sense in some ways. Letting anyone hop into Ranked could open the floodgates to cheaters, smurfs, or people just messing around with no commitment. Putting it behind a paywall helps gatekeep the experience a little. But it also feels weird. The game is now being promoted as free, yet a huge part of its identity, its competitive edge, is still monetized. It's like being told you get a free car, only to find out it doesn't come with the engine unless you pay extra. Sure, it's still a car. It looks good. You can sit in it, honk the horn, maybe even roll it down a hill. But driving, that'll cost you. And this brings us to a strange point in its evolution. This isn't a full rebrand or a sequel. It's more like a new era, a shift in how they want the game to be perceived. The hardcore are still catered to. The casuals now have a playground, and monetization is more structured than ever. Now let's talk about the long-term impact. What does this shift mean for new players and the community as a whole? On the surface, free access opens the door to millions. That sounds great, but it brings challenges. One of the biggest is onboarding. This game has a steep learning curve. With more players flooding in, the early experience needs to be clear, helpful, and rewarding, or people will bounce fast. The limited operator pool for free users helps simplify things a bit, but it also means you don't get to experiment much. You're boxed into a few basic choices, while premium players have the full toolkit. This creates an uneven playing field, especially in Unranked, where both types of players mix. It can feel less like a fair fight and more like a preview of what you're missing. Then there's the issue of progression. Unlocking operators, skins, and other content can take a while unless you're willing to pay. That's expected in most free-to-play models, but in this case, it's layered. Not only are you gated by time or cash, but some of the core experiences, like Ranked, are completely locked behind the premium wall. This creates a split player base. The free tier just gets a taste, while the paid tier gets the full buffet. There's also a concern that this might turn into a marketing funnel. The game is free to download, but every meaningful layer past that feels like an upsell. Want to really compete? Pay. Want more operators? Pay. Want Ranked? Definitely pay. For some, that's fair. For others, it cheapens the meaning of free to play. On the brighter side, the move could breathe life back into the community. More players mean more matchmaking options, more content creators, more memes, more hype. For returning players, the changes are exciting. The audio overhaul is crisp. The reworked maps feel fresh. The dual front mode brings something new to the formula. If you're on current-gen hardware, it almost feels like a soft reboot. But the biggest question is whether this model will work in the long run. Will people embrace the new format or get frustrated by all the gated content? Can the influx of new players be properly guided into becoming part of the community, not just a wave that crashes and disappears? The balance between free and premium needs to be handled carefully. If the premium tier feels too essential, free users may walk away. But if it's balanced well, offering value without creating pressure, this could be one of the smartest pivots the game has ever made. For now, the move to free access is a bold step forward. But it's only half the story. What really matters is what happens next, how new players react, how veterans adjust, and whether this ecosystem can thrive with two very different paths, one free, one paid. This isn't just a game update. It's a redefinition of what it means to play and pay for tactical combat in 2025.